Spiritual Connect Radio, above average black men.
Hey,
you got me, Chris Senior, and we got those guys can introduce themselves, man. I'll let them go.
Devin Pender right here, someone that just strives to get better every day.
Positivity, my man is out here.
That made me laugh. It was like a Vine commercial.
Sign me up.
Just Lamar, I'm also striving to get better. I'm a comedian. I'm making fun of everybody here. I love these are my brothers and my second dad. So man, I'm glad to be here.
But we broke the record because Laughter came in like right away. Usually kind of
It's a little serious first. Right, but yeah, I'm Chris Jr. I mean, and again, I'm probably on the same boat, man, about this spreading love, positivity, and that's why we're here. Is a spotlight. I mean, people in our community that are doing great things that don't necessarily get the love all the time. So yeah, kind of second.
So I had a question. I want to start the show with the question, right?
What's up?
Well, let me tell our guests this, then you say the question. Marcus Haynes is going to be calling in, sports writer, sometimes controversial, always on point. So stay tuned, man. Grab your friends. If you got some Eagles questions or Phillies questions or whatever you got, man. We're going to have a good time tonight, man. But go ahead, Jesse.
All right, so I know the shows, right, is above average black men because we oftentimes don't get highlighted for what we do positively. Correct. So I get that. My question is, are we going to bring some above average black women on here too?
Yeah, we are. Chris and I talked about that. We are.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was talking to a young lady today who has interest in coming on the show with some of her girlfriends, and she's married, and because the question that was posed about marriage. Remember on the Facebook question was posed, and she wanted to talk about marriage and relationships. So I told her, if you know somebody, I would love to create some roundtable discussions, and not all of them in here. Like we talked about it somewhere we can actually sit around the table and have more space. And just talk about it, man. Because I can take this in. We can take it as long as the internet. We can do the radio, but the podcast, So if you know something, you know something. I would love to talk about race. I would love to get people with different ethnicities to have a real open conversation about not, Like I was talking to somebody today when the person tells me I got a black friend. That's usually the sign for me. And they say I got a black friend, I got a white friend, or Hispanic friend. Like, really, you got one?
Yeah, it's like I know now. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I try to avoid those conversations as much as possible.
Yeah, I have to because you used to follow me. That's why I got off. You used to be so the people. So but I also think to me, and we'll get to what we're talking about. I think that goes into truth and honesty because things will never get better if you don't start having those conversations. So, but you do have to know when enough is enough.
Right. You
do got to know when you can be in those conversations, not be in those conversations. But I think. We are where we are now because nobody wants to talk about it. And people of other ethnic groups think it's okay, from their perspective. I don't know what they're watching, I don't know what they're paying to, but they think it's okay. So, and I think even on our side, we need to have healthy discussions. Not burn down the village, kill, but, real healthy discussions. And I think that's the only way it gets better for the next generation. We were on that path. If you go back and look at the 60s with Martin Luther King and, even Malcolm X, they were making noise, but they were having some type of dialogue. So then we just stopped talking about it because we thought we arrived.
Yeah, and that's why I guess I brought that conversation or this topic up tonight about just the truth and power, because the truth is so valuable.
Oh yeah.
And I just had questions around it that I would love to have with all of you, and some of those questions, we had prior to this were on one side of the truth, you have there are people who are scared to hear the truth. You know what I mean? Like they feel as though it might hurt their feelings. Pride gets in the way, ego gets in the way. But then on the other side of that too, you have people who are scared to actually tell the truth. You know what I mean? Because they feel like they're saving somebody or like sparing someone's feelings or doing them a favor. So again, wanted to kind of have that conversation tonight because again, I feel as though truth is in power, and the example we used from our last show is kind of when we coach and we talk to kids and you're telling that kid straight up like, yo, this is not for you. You got other skills?
Yeah, you ain't getting hockey.
No, you a hater over here. You wasn't never nothing. Now you hating on me.
I'm here with you in the gym. I see it.
But I think it all ties together, even with Marcus Haynes, because being the sports writer is not always popular because people want you. They want you to write, from emotion. They don't want you to write what you see. They want you to leave the Eagles camp because I'm an Eagles fan. So don't get it wrong. Jalen Hurts completed 3 out of 15 passes, and you want to talk about how pretty 3 passes look. And that's what they expect. They don't want you to write that. Okay, this may be a dismal year. We may go, 5 and 10.
That's how I feel.
You know,
I'm at the
the
practice.
The only harder sports job than a sports writer is probably a referee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Two people that can't do nothing right.
Yeah, when it comes to the truth,
Can't do nothing
see,
right.
when you tell the truth, it reveals something about you. It does. It takes, to me, it takes courage to tell the truth. It takes courage to say that, you know what, this is what I see, especially when other people don't see it. But also, I think it tells a lot about you when you don't tell the truth, because to me, don't tell me you have my best interest in heart and you won't tell me the truth. You know, I would expect, the three of you, I would expect you to call me on something that was wrong. Not in a abrupt or rude way, but I think that's what relationships is. Relationship is the ability to say, look, hey, you're not right. It's like I say this all the time. If I was hanging out with a group of guys and I found out that one of them was beating his wife, I would say something. I'm not your friend, if I'm gonna let you continue to have that negative behavior. I think that's where relationships, to me, the essence of a true relationship is the ability to tell the truth and receive the truth. Because we all got some mess, man. Let's be honest, man. We all got some mess, man. And we got blind spots.
Yeah.
We got blind spots. That kid you was talking about, when you tell him, like, dude, you ain't making it, he still think he gonna be,
You
you
come in the gym, you just throwing it up from half court with one shot. Don't practice on nothing. You're not even putting in the work ethic that shows something like that.
I'm almost 60 years old, and you can't get past me. So what you think you gonna play at? Yeah.
No, it's in our best interest, in our relationship, to me, tell you the truth. We go all the volume, all three of us.
But that's different. No, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
You trying to hold on to it.
Let me tell you
These kids,
Let me tell you
man.
something. I can hold and trip with the best of them.
Alright,
And it's
okay.
only a foul if you get caught.
Okay,
That's all
we
I'm
have to
saying.
get to the court.
No, but I'm talking about when you talking
Sun is out.
when you talking to these kids, man. That's the reality of it all. Like I tell them in a heartbeat. When I was playing, the 15-footer was a layup for me. I still can knock it down. I can walk in the gym, take up one, knock it down. They're out there shooting 3-point. If you 1 for 12 out there, and I'm 8 for 8 or 8 for 10, who you think I'm not on that? I was scoring more points. But to them, it's not about making it. It's about taking the shot. And when you have that mentality, how you gonna, if you don't worry about making it, how you gonna play in the league? And some of them, they never work on the handle. Or my favorite is, kids shoot from their waist and they say I'm cheating because I'll stand back here and I'll just do this all day long. But I think that's just one part of the truth. But even the truth in relationships, I think people continue bad habits because somebody doesn't tell them the truth.
Do you feel like it's more kind of difficult to tell people the truth today in this day and age more than any other time? And why? Like, how so? Like, why is it so hard to just be open and honest in any regards? Like, you can't tell people anything about themselves.
I would say it is more difficult nowadays, just because, especially my age group, the way we're brought up, you get, like I said, you get sold the Disney dream and everything, and, you have participation trophies and different things like that. And, when you grow up, life hits you.
You ain't getting
I ain't get that. I
He
didn't
thought we was rich.
I kept it real with y'all.
Listen, I don't know. Like, that's the baby. That's the baby. Not my baby. Like,
They're like those things like that. And when you grow up and that truth hits you, and you get that gut punch, you don't know how to deal with it in the real world. And I think that's hitting a lot of people my age group especially.
it's just coddled.
Well, just for the records, I was like the down with State Farm commercial. Ain't no participation trip. We beat everybody. We were undefeated. Ain't no participation trip. No, but I do think that's an excellent point because I think there's 3 reasons why it's so hard now. And one reason is we already talked about it is social media. Because social media allows you to paint these images of what you think either perfection is or what you think this person is or should be. And so many people, I've been in meetings where I've been in a room with a bunch of educated people and some people have said, this is what I heard on social media. And I'm thinking to myself like, yo, you got a law degree and you quote, you know what I mean? So that's the power of social media. So that's one of the
What's funny about social media is like, I feel like you still feel like people spill their heart out on there. Like they give too much, So then like you said, just to piggyback and go with what you said.
I'm gonna take a macro
Seems like
lens.
things are honest, man.
I'm gonna take a macro lens. We talking about honesty, right? Recently, we had a couple leaders. I ain't gonna say no names. who honesty wasn't their forefront and focus. It was about being first.
Yeah.
It was about being right. It was never about being honest. And if that's what the leader's doing, my favorite quote was from Remember the Titans: "Attitude reflect leadership." So even I'm gonna lie, it affected me too. Like once I seen our leaders lying, it's like, what's the point of telling the truth? What's the point? You telling me you can lie and wait to be the president? You know what I mean? You can lie. It's not even just the president. It's